now tuned into the most censored morning show in the realm, Rise and Grind. And that was Neve with Sleeping, and a brand new song to get us started. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, January 13th. You heard that correct, and we've got so much planned for today. If you tune in later tonight, we're going to be debating live on Jason on the Wake Souls channel is back again, resurrected from a 2-strike, almost taken out of contention channel. We're going to be on there. We're going to have T-Jump on, and T-Jump's heliocentrist partner to go into this conversation/debate. So we've got much planned for this weekend. Thank you for tuning in. I am RJ Shine, and this is a podcast sponsored by Freshly Ground Coffee. So if you don't have freshly ground coffee, I want you to turn the podcast off, go to Amazon, order yourself a grinder, go to the grocery store, get yourself some coffee grinds, right? And then next week, before the podcast starts, make sure you grind your freshly ground coffee, and then you can turn it back on. So until then, please turn the podcast off. This isn't for you. This is for people that are smart enough to get freshly ground coffee into their life. But come on, let's go. Let's get into today's podcast. I've got so much planned for today. A bunch of breaking, brand new songs. We're going to go through some tweets, some tabs, some Twitter drops, and some more. So let's get in. You know, we like to start the podcast off and finish it with some spiritual memes. So the first one of the morning says, never discredit your gut instinct. You are not paranoid. Your body can actually pick up on bad vibrations, right? If something deep inside of you says something is not right about a person or a situation, go on and trust it. Trust your instinct. Trust your intuition. It knows what's right for you. You are the one that has to get out of the way and truly begin to understand who you are and trust exactly what it is that who you are is telling you to do. It's not going to lead you in the wrong way, unless you are meant to learn that lesson. This one says, all your dreams are whispers from the soul of what you came to experience. So write them down. Try to manifest through the flow state or the thought state of your mind as you fall asleep at night. Put yourself into the dream experiences that you're looking for. Ask your soul to show you, to teach you, to guide you, and it will. It will, I promise. You just have to start to unlock and make sure that you properly manifest your own soul through your dreams, right? They're whispers from your own soul. This one says, if you want to fly, you have to give up everything that weighs you down. Do you want to fly? I want to fly so bad. I'm so tired of being stuck here on this floor on the ground. I want to take off into the sky. This one's beautiful. Some amazing artwork here. It says, don't use your energy to worry. Use your energy to believe, create, trust, grow, glow, manifest, and yes, most importantly, heal. We're all wounded. We're all walking this realm wounded, trying to do the best that we can. We're trying to lift other people up and be an encourager That's what we're doing here on the Rise and Grind. So make sure you go on and believe in yourself, create things, trust yourself, grow. Don't forget to shine and glow, manifest, and heal. Healing is the most important thing. We're here to heal, okay? It doesn't matter what you've been through. You can heal from it. Good morning. The time is now 6:08 in the Central Standard Time. This is a good one. I want everybody to please do this with me today. Take a few minutes to sit quietly. Just sit quietly and just be thankful for all that you have. Don't think about the things that you wish you had or the things that went wrong. Actually sit down and think about all the things that you should actually be grateful for. And you're going to find that you're going to attract and you're going to begin to move forward with more things to be grateful for after you start to practice this. I'm going to do it, so do it with me. Come on. Excuse me. This one is super important. And again, beautiful artwork. It says enlightenment means waking up to what you truly are and then being that, right? That's what enlightenment is. It's not, going into a state of nirvana and floating off into the ground and meditating under some waterfall. No, we can do all those things, but true enlightenment is actually just becoming who you are and embracing it. That's what we want to promote here. This one says, helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world for that one person. So don't not help people. If you see an opportunity where you can share a smile, hold a door, carry someone's groceries for them, anything that you see possible, if you're looking for these things, you're actually manifesting the Creator's will here, because His will is to love one another. We are just in this short period of time that's been about 6,000 years. We're almost into 5993, which is a Shemitah, which is 7 years left. And we've been here to grow and learn. And helping one person could actually change the world. So the boy, the mother sent him to listen to Yahawahashai speak, and she packed him a lunch with like 5 fish and some loaves of bread, and that actually fed the whole 5,000 people. So you don't know that if you help somebody, that person could then become a super important person, and because of your kind act, you actually propelled them forward into helping everybody. It's sort of that pay it forward type attitude. We want to try to bring that back. So go on and pay it forward. Help that one person, because it actually could change the whole world. This one says, your soul doesn't care what you do for a living. And when your life is over, neither will you. Your soul actually cares only about what you are being while you are doing whatever it is that you are doing. Are you focusing on that? Are you truly focusing on what your soul wants and needs? Because I really hope you are. That's what we're trying to promote here, wholeheartedly. This one says flow state. This happens to be one of my favorite memes of the morning. And, just getting into these types of flow states, I'm learning to do it with my work, with my content, with mixing, with anything that I do. I'm trying to get into this flow state. We talked about last week, keys to getting into the flow state are not to put anything in front of you that's too hard or too easy, right? It's to stay calm-minded and to stay focused. You can also use music. There's many things that we can do to help us engage into the flow state, but you truly want to get into the flow state. So let's look a little deeper into what the flow state actually is. It says here, meditation isn't only sitting with your eyes closed. Okay, it's not. It can actually be experienced in many different ways. Here's a list of examples. So you can go on and watch a beautiful sunset. You can stargaze. You can dance, you can listen to music, any creative project, martial arts, nature watching, gardening is a huge one, and so much more. It says here, anything that induces a, quote, flow state in your mind is meditative. Flow state is one of the most optimal states to exist in because, hey, it is actually quite literally the definition of being in the present moment. So we want to constantly get you back into the flow state. Thank you, Atomogenesis, for that one. It was a great one. So again, just a quick update. Today we're going to be live on the Awake Souls channel at 12 p.m. Central. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a conversation/debate with some Kabbalistic heliocentrists that are also atheists. So we're going to show some evidence. We're going to be able to screen share. We've got some memes prepared. Jason's got his presentation all dialed in. It's going to be a really good time. So let's get into the next song break. And after this, we're going to get into some news. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's now 6:12 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. I hope you have your freshly ground coffee ready to go. And I'm going to see you guys after this break.
Am I doing anything wrong? I don't know. carelessly, spending all my hard money recklessly, living out my life so selfishly, so I can be happy eventually. Happy eventually. Happy eventually. Eventually. The voice in my head won't go away, keeps telling me that I'm not okay. Just let me live my life the way I want. Oh, pushing myself to the limit carelessly, spending all my hard money recklessly, living out my life so selfishly, so I can be happy eventually. Happy eventually. Happy eventually. Eventually. So I can be happy eventually. Give myself, I'm tearing myself up. Look all around, I don't hear a sound, but I know I will be happy eventually. Oh, pushing myself to the limit carelessly, spending all my hard money recklessly, living out my life so selfishly, so I can be happy eventually. Happy eventually. So I can be happy eventually. Happy eventually.
And that's FM 45 with Happy Eventually. Let's get back into the morning rise and grind. This is truly, how I feel. Let's check this out. It's a beaver here. Good morning, everybody. We always have to try to get a laugh and a smile in as much as we possibly can. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into this news. Try not to laugh too much or scream too much like the beaver. We've got so much stuff to look at. We're going to start it off here with Extremely Wicked and Shockingly Evil and Vile, which was a TV series that they put out in 2019. And what we want to point out here, which we've been commonly pointing out, I've got a glitch on my screen. Let me fix this 1 second. Right, screaming. I can fix this. And it is gone. So what I want to point out here with Ted Bundy, right? I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Goldstein. I don't like the name, but his content has been getting better through the days. But he goes on to state here, Ted Bundy was another, CIA project. Among the founders of the CIA were the brothers William and McGeorge Bundy, and they were extremely active in the 70s. And they're, again, one of the other Boston Brahim families, the families that actually own Bill Gates. They're all coming out of Boston. The first clue that the Bundy murders were all fake was discovering that Bundy actually supposedly fathered a child while on death row. This is actually what they're reporting. They're trying to say that this is true. I don't know, but that's what they're saying. I couldn't believe it. He also gave live interviews from the jail that he was in on TV, on the news, live. He was live from the jail. We can continue down here. One of the most important things that we want to point out was, in other words, this was a complete fake composed by Langley and Hollywood to blackwash attractive men, thereby scaring women out of their minds. This was done to split the sexes and destroy the heterosexual relationship. So they took the average, charming, handsome man and they turned him out to be a psychopathic, cannibal murderer. And again, when we look further into this topic, as we scroll down here, it says, I lost it. It turned out basically that the entire cast and crew and everybody that was involved in this Bundy hoax turned out, where was it? That they were, all of a certain tribe. But we're going to keep moving here with the tweets and tabs of the morning. Did you know that Jordan Peterson actually has serious ties to MK Ultra? Yes, it's true. You don't need to clean your glasses. he actually has serious ties to MK Ultra. And we can see down here, it says here that he says he's being forced to re-educate, right? Re-educate for criticizing Justin Trudeau, who also went to McGill, as well as Jordan Peterson. And we move down here to see what else this thread says. It says Jordan Peterson studied under Maurice Donnier, who trained at the Allen Memorial Institute at McGill in the 1950s. If you didn't know, let me change this music. We have the wrong track on. So the 50s is when the MK Ultra experiments reportedly began at the Allen under Ewan Cameron. So again, anything that you see that's coming out from Jordan Peterson, you have to be very skeptical, because there's a very good chance that it's MK Ultra mind control. They're targeting certain groups, the ones who idealize as white. They're attacking the whites, and they're doing it subvertly through mind control through Jordan Peterson. So don't watch any of his content, and if you do, be super skeptical. This article coming in here is another interesting one to look at. It says Mel Gibson directing a film about the Rothschild family and hitting the New World Order hard. Now, if there's anybody in the realm that's possibly capable of actually fighting the New World Order, there's a good chance it could be someone like Mel Gibson. He's made enough money, he has enough experience that he could get the film, he could get the equipment to make a movie, and then he could create it and move it out into the realm. So we're watching with anticipation to see if this anti-Rothschild, anti-New World Order movie actually does surface. We're keeping our eyes focused on it. So should you. We're looking forward to that. Moving on here. Thousands of protesters have put Dublin to a standstill. Look at this. They got their horses out, their carriages. They're doing everything they possibly can to make life hard. Got the horses there blocking the road. Look at this. It's windy, huh? Crazy. Dublin getting out in the middle of the wintertime to fight the New World Order, like Canada style. They're gonna have bouncy houses and everything, some trucker convoys. Like I said, they're using their horses to block traffic. Good on people in Dublin. Nice to report on people actually fighting back. This one going back into the Freemasonic hoax of last week. Damar Hamlin and Chuck Hughes, guess what, are the only two NFL players in history to drop mid-game from heart attacks. Guess what? Both were born in Pennsylvania on March 24th. Can you believe that? Both NFL players that dropped down of heart attacks during games, both were born in Pennsylvania, which is one of the most heavily Church of Satan occupied places in the realm by far. They're both born there. Hamlin was born in the Tiger year and collapsed in a Tiger year inside Bengals Stadium, while Hughes collapsed inside Tiger Stadium. Don't you be fooled. They are running. The Jesuits love the gematria. If you look at Zachary K. Hubbard, one of the leading gematria guys, I've known him since 2014, you'll see he constantly wears the all 1,000-pointed sunlight upon his chest. You'll see the Jesuitical. He lets you know exactly who he serves. You just have to open your eyes and look. Moving on now to some interesting free energy talk. We've got Ram 1500 Revolution coming out with their dual motor third row seat electric vehicle. Sadly enough, they're not utilizing hydrogen in this one. It's still an EV battery that they're trying to create. They're saying here it's a fast charge at 350 kilowatts. Decent looking truck, I guess. Would be smarter if they used hydrogen. They'd be able to drive for a lot further, but they don't want you to be able to not have to recharge. So everything should be solar paneled. Braking kinetic energy should be used to create power. They only need to use one or two of the wheels to power the vehicle. The rest of the wheels should actually be turning alternators. Then you would never have to plug this thing in. But the New World Order is only going to bring you out crappy technology. They're going to hide the good stuff for themselves. This one coming out here is crazy. The world's first robot lawyer, if you believe it or not, will help a defendant fight a traffic ticket case in court next month. This is terrifying. What is this robot going to do? What is this robot going to do? A robot lawyer taking over. So now we have robots wearing tiny hats, if you can believe it. It's true. Moving on to this next one, Jimmy Fallon singing about how XB15 is the best Cerveza variant yet. Let me turn the music down. Let's listen to Jimmy sing. Here we go.
There was Alpha, then Delta, then Omicron X, but this latest variant might be the best. It's XBB.1.5. isn't the same. Sounds more like Elon Musk's kid's name. It's XBB.1.5, not UB40 who sings Red Red Wine. Put
It's a good song, Red Red Wine.
It could be a robot from a Star Wars trilogy. It's XBB.1.5, not OMG or MP3 or TCBY or an eye chart made by
One eye symbolism, huh?
Sounds like the password of your parents' Wi-Fi. It's XBB.1.
So what I have to point out here as I turn the background music back on, what I want to strongly point out is when they do their psyops, they have to put jingles, they have to put music out. When Ebola was being promoted as something that was real, when they were just poisoning the mines, poisoning the wells in Africa because they weren't mining anymore for the tiny hats, they drove around with vehicles that were playing a song. The hit song during the Ebola thing was that Ebola was real, right? So what we see here constantly is the way that they use these actors. They put them up on the screen, they do the jingles, they do the songs, and what they're trying to do is subconsciously implant in your mind that XBB.1 is something that's going to get you, when it's not. It's not going to get you. It's only going to get you if you go on and do what they want you to do. Moving on from crazy-ass Jimmy Fallon and his XB11 song, we've got Alex Jones' attorney, supposedly in Freemasonic kangaroo court, suspended for sharing Sandy Hook family's medical records. You know, why don't we just show everybody in the courtroom all the pictures of the kids that aren't dead? And then we can move on from this stupid-ass Freemasonic court. This is what they do. Bibi Netanyahu has been in and out of court, and he's been up on allegations and charges and indicted for about 10 years. All they do is they keep their agents in the role of the news feed so that they can keep supplanting their dis, and malinformation. Alex Jones is no different. He wears a tiny hat. You just can't see it. It's cloaked. Moving on here. Nevada's new Republican, so the other side of the wing of the same bird that works together to enslave you, new Republican governor, Joseph Lombardo, signed his very first executive order today to what? Repeal and rescind all Cerveza 19 mandates previously administered under the Democratic governor Sisolak. So we got a new governor. He's coming in and he's supposed to be changing new sheriff in town. He's going to go all Republican, all freedom, all the way. It's not a bad thing, but we don't need dumbass people in suits with ties on telling us what we can and cannot do. We are free. And the moment we are not free is when these people are going to pay. Moving on to the next one of the morning. This one coming off of Newsweek magazine. If you can believe it, yes, adjust your glasses. It says, "Are you unjabolid? It's time to make an end-of-life plan." Boy, aren't they getting brash? It should say, "Are you jabolid?" Because if you are, it's time to start making your end-of-life plan. That's the truth of it. We'll read between the headlines this morning. Moving on to crazy nonsense out of Boston Robotics. These robots, they want to come and get you with them. These are for all the dissidents, all the people that are not doing what the New World Order wants. They're trying to make killer robots. They're pretty stupid. All you have to do is, sorry, my camera tilted here. All you have to do is wet these things, spray them with water, and or come up with a way to overload their systems. That's all you have to do to stop these things. They have to be suspended. What they show you is a joke. These things can't build. They can't do drywall. Maybe they can run on this here treadmill hooked up to all these here cables. What is this thing going to do? What are they trying to do? Are these things coming to get you? No. These things are just made for spying, for doing other types of whatever it is that they feel that they're going to scheme and create. Sorry, I have to make adjustments on the fly. We don't have a producer working with me. I'm trying to do it all. But this is Boston Robotics. This is their nonsense. Trillions and trillions of dollars goes into these robots. Wow, that one can fly? Damn, that was cool. I wouldn't mind having some of these as toys. I mean, what is this thing going to do to you? It's just going to fall over. Oh, this is scary. Are you scared? Everybody be scared. This one is going to do a flip. I jumped a log. Wow. You know, this is something that a 3-year-old could do. This costs millions and millions, maybe $1 billion to make this thing. And it can just jump like a 3-year-old. Moving on, that's just nonsense. We're going to get into another song break. The next one is such a good one. Spanish composers coming back with some retro house style music. We're looking forward to that one. That's Pig and Dan. That'll be up next. But back into the news of the morning. It says here, breaking. top Republican representative says Joe Biden will be impeached. So again, like I had previously mentioned, what they do is they put their people that are ahead of the scams and hoaxes and psyops. What they do is they continue to say they're going to be impeached. They bring up old evidence. So this is about something that Biden apparently had while he was vice president. He literally quid pro quo'd on live television when he told the Ukrainian guy, if you don't fire this guy and put in someone solid, he said, you're not getting the billion. He literally did what they're not allowed to do before he was even president on television. Everything else that you're going to see is going to be Freemasonic kangaroo court. It's just there to distract and divide you. Moving on here, absolute bombshell, not really. It says here, Russian trolls on Twitter had little influence in the 2016 voters, and they're saying this on the Washington Post. So the Washington Post is coming out doing damage control because everybody's turning on Twitter now and seeing all the files that Elon's dropping, which basically is the way that they do it. They put all the truth out there. They tell you everything. They give you all the evidence. And then what they say is that if you're too stupid to see it, you deserve to get what you're going to get. That's what these sick, twisted people do. But hey, on the Rise and Grind, we're going to call it all out. We're going to inform you so that you can actually stand up and not comply with any of it. And then it puts it back on them. And they have to stand accountable for their actions. Moving on to this next one, we talked about it last week, the El Paso crisis with the fake, how they storm people's borders. What they're trying to do is they're making everybody brown. We had a great week this week. We were out in the sun. It was 85 degrees the last 2 days. We've actually got suntans. I turned brown. So am I being infiltrated by the New World Order to become a brown person, or does our skin just actually change different colors? What are you, as soon as you identify as white, brown, or black, listen, we're all brothers and sisters. Don't fall for this border scam. There's not thousands of people walking hundreds, if not thousands of miles with brand new shoes, backpacks, and water bottles with 2-year-olds on their hips to swim across a river into the United States. They set up these scenes. They put the bums there. They put them in bums' clothes. And then here you go. You got Joe Biden shows up. Here goes Biden. He can barely walk, this guy, which is an act. He's acting right now. He acts like an idiot. Don't be fooled. He's acting. This is the big El Paso scene. Republicans are yelling, why hasn't he been to the border yet? It's been 2 years, save our borders. They already built all these huge ass walls to keep everybody in, right? At least you can see through them. I mean, why don't they just wall in everything like Israel? Just wall in all the cities, all the borders, the coastlines. And you know what they could do? On the coastline where they wall in all the beautiful beach properties, they could just paint the coastline on the wall so that people can still see it. I've got to move on past this crazy malinformation that the government is actually putting out. There are not thousands of people storming the United States border right now trying to get freedom. They don't even speak English. Okay, it's crazy. People need to sit down and they need to think logically about the psyops that the government's trying to run, because they're getting pretty retarded. Moving on here, this one here, breaking. U.S. life insurance companies say deaths have an unexplainable increase by 40% in 18 to 49-year-olds. It's just unexplainable. Let's hear what she has to say.
Full-blown pandemic. So they looked at 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20 at the prevalence of certain conditions, including things like heart attack, blood clots to the lung, miscarriages, those sorts of things. And they compared it to the incidence of those same things in the calendar year 2021 and saw an alarming increase in certain things. For example, they saw a 270% increase in myocardial infarction in 2021, a 300% increase in incidence of Bell's palsy and of certain neurologic complaints.
So, I mean, the news and the truth is getting out. People are sharing it. This was off Let's Go Brandon, another psyop disinformation statement. Moving on here, breaking. Banks are fleeing #crypto. Bitcoin investors should be worried. We've been saying that Bitcoin investors should be worried for about 5 years now. It is a Ponzi scheme set up to take the last of the wealth that anybody thinks they have. Let's do a couple more and then we're going to get into a song break. After this one, have you guys seen what happened here to young CTV News reporter Jessica Robb as she started slurring her words? Look at this.
Has come just a week before the 3rd anniversary.
Well, people we spoke with say they were happy that something is being done, but this is something that they've been asking for since day one. So for them, this is about 1,000 days too late. Now, I looking at after the day, families are
What's happening to her?
pushing the feds to. Sorry, Airman.
Oh.
I'm not feeling very well right now, and I'm about to.
Okay.
Oh,
Back to me right
she's
now.
going down.
That Jessica, you are doing okay. Thank you. We will make sure that Jessica is okay. So, and we will give you guys an update a little bit later to make sure that she is doing all right. She is not alone. She is with has come to
Hopefully somebody caught her, and we're going to be back after this break. I hope you had your subs up for that one from the Spanish composers Pig and Dan with Better Than the Love I Know. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get back into the news of the morning. We got Twitter has reinstated, yes, you heard it here first, the official account for the Trump campaign 2024. Here comes Donald J. Elonald Trump running for president again. We are going to be tracking all of this and pointing out all the dismiss and malinformation. Please make sure that you got your thinking caps on for the rest of this news segment. Moving on to this next one, Chrystia Freeland to attend WEF annual meeting in Davos, coming in from YD here. She says, what's up? What's this all about? It's just a bunch of dictators planning and plotting against us. She couldn't have said that any better. I couldn't agree any more, is what I mean to say. But yes, Chrystia Freeland to attend the annual WEF meeting, which is going to take place starting on the 16th. We will have that coming up again soon in the news. Now we've got something super interesting to bring out here. I got to show you guys. Have you seen what Jimmy Fallon did on his TV show? Look at this.
Even shirts caked with blood. It was an accident.
This is funny.
What else is soft? Human flesh. Baby flesh. Wait, where is your baby? Shh, baby sleep.
This is disgusting. They got the laugh track. Like, it's going to make it funny.
So
Laugh track's not working, Jimmy.
defenseless. The perfect size for a sacrifice. Shh, time to
This is 2023, people. This is what they're promoting. This is what they're doing.
going. They'll never hear you scream. The Dark Lord shall be pleased with me. Snuggle bread
Dark one, huh?
softener, proudly made. It's to die for.
Very cute, Gamma. So if you don't know, excuse me, I'll let you know. Who do you think is in charge of the Dark One? Who do you think holds the keys to life and death, to hell and heaven? It's not the Dark One. And I'm going to tell you, every single one of these people that have practiced, that have worshipped, that have done child sacrifice are absolutely going to pay eternally, unless they repent and change their way now. Time is almost up. It's now 6:41 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and it is, yes, Friday the 13th, if you haven't heard already. But yes, these people are sick, twisted, and disgusting. Turn your TVs off. Keep your kids away from them. And Jimmy Kimmel, you are going to pay. You're going to pay, you sick, sadistic son of a bitch. You're going to pay for everything that you've done. Every person that's ever harmed any innocent children, you're all going to pay. It'll be better for you to be thrown into the bottom of the Marianas Trench with a 50-pound weight stone or 400-pound weight stone on you than where it is that you're going. That's all I have to say. Let's move on to some more of this news of the morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know we got to go through some of this crazy stuff. Oh, unfortunately, this one has been removed. It was too truthful. We've got to move on past this. Thank you, Elon. Moving on here, scale model showing how mangrove forests actually protect the coast from wave erosion. We need to put the mangroves back. They need to be left. Look here. As the waves come in, we have a smaller scale, and you can see this scale is built off of a flat plane in here. There's no curve to this tank because you live in a flat realm. But as you can see here, the land that is protected, these mangroves need to be put back. People need to stop cutting them down. It's crazy that people just think they can be born into this realm and then they can just destroy it because, oh, their villa looks better or they want to see more of the ocean, right? Don't worry about taking your mangroves down. Soon they're going to put a big wall in front of your house. But like I said, maybe we'll get them to paint the horizon and the sunset onto that wall. But let's talk about leaving mangroves. Please, can we leave them? Can we plant them again and just leave the mangroves? The earth was designed to protect us when we put the trees here like this. We're not supposed to take them out so we have more beachfront. It's retarded, and we got to call out anyone taking out the mangroves. Great experiment showing how we need them. Moving on to some more news. If you didn't watch the Golden Globes, which I truly hope you don't, and you didn't, it says here Zelensky to make an appearance at the Golden Globe ceremony in Beverly Hills, California. And sure enough, this already took place, and here it is. You want to see his presentation? Check this out.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, he made an appearance and was introduced by actor Sean Penn. Yeah, and of course, and as you know, we've spoken about this before, they met a few months ago now in Ukraine, where Sean Penn handed his Oscar over to Volodymyr Zelensky and said, "Give it back to me once we've won the war." He used this
Actors,
I guess, to speak to millions of people around the world.
I'm proud that the leadership of the Hollywood Foreign Press has seen fit to encourage that those aspirations
Sean
should share this stage tonight.
War is fake.
With a very real world example.
It's actors pretending.
It is now 2023. The war in Ukraine is not over yet, but the tide is turning, and it is already clear who will win.
The president saying there that his country is strong and it looks like they will win. It's not a
They're going to win, right? No one's going to win. It's all retarded, fake, Freemasonic scripted theater. No one is going to win it. Don't be fooled anymore by the nonsense that you see on the TV. Moving on to the next news. Okay, this is interesting. Israel violently suppressing protests by the Orthodox community anti-Zionist Jays. So there are a group of people that wear funny hats. I don't know if they wear the bigger ones or the smaller ones, but they're coming out against the Zionist movement. Look at how they're being treated. Here in the Promised Land was actually the occupied state of Palestine. That was really close. That guy almost got stomped on by a horse. Look at this. They are just acting crazy up in Israel right now. Or, sorry, I should say Palestine. Tyrants. Who do you think owns Palestine? The Jesuits. And what are the Jesuits doing? Causing havoc and chaos everywhere. It's a little bit loud here. Let me get that down. But this is what they're doing. We're going to show you. I call out the tiny hats, but I'll also show where they're being abused and treated wrong. Doesn't matter what you believe in. You should never be abused. Never. Not by authorities, not by your wife, your husband, your kid. We should learn to love each other. This type of stuff has to be stopped. And it will be soon enough. All these people are going to absolutely pay. Moving on from this one. Moving on here. Twitter files. Musk confirms secret Pfizer operation. Yes, they say to silence Jabola critics. Gee, thanks for that bombshell drop. Like they haven't already been doing this. Everybody in the truth movement knows exactly what's going on. That they've been silencing and taking down all the truth long before Pfizer came along. But apparently now Elon is this freedom fighter and he's dropping the Twitter files. Make sure you get over there if you're a meth addict. Moving on here, it says China has set its sights on concerning, why are you covering that? Another green energy market, hydrogen. Moving on to the little caption, it says, it's truncated. U.S. are racing to counteract early Chinese dominance in electrolyzers, right? Okay. We all know what's going on. We know, who do you think owns China, right? Could it be the Rothschild family and the Jesuits? We got a winner. Let me get the bell ringer of the morning. But at least people are actually starting to talk about green energy solutions. Hydrogen is the wave of the future. Listen, you can make hydrogen. You can create a perpetual motion generator with a flywheel and an alternator and a motor, right? Once that thing starts, you can unplug it from the power. And then it's going to start making hydrogen. You could take that hydrogen and you can plug it into your car and you can drive for hundreds of miles. And then you have another, you just plug it back in, you're instantly charged up. You don't need to plug your car into anything. This is the wave of the future. Moving on here. The great American EV battery revolution might be finally here. So now everybody is competing to make a battery that lasts longer. And what they're all going to find out is that you actually need to use hydrogen. Hydrogen stored in a dried cell that can be, again, plugged into a system, and then electricity comes out. Not gas, not fluid, not liquid. Energy. You put the wires around the system and then boom, you have power. That's the wave of the future, not these electric vehicle batteries, right? The batteries themselves have to be fuel cells. Moving on from that, brought to you by Pfizer. People are going to believe what they want to believe. Check this out. I was just blown away at this one. This one's some comedy, but good morning. The time is now 6:48 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. And it is, we're not superstitious here, Friday the 13th. And we've got a podcast, a debate conversation today at 12 p.m. Central on the Awake Souls channel. You're not going to want to miss this, but check this out. Brought to you by who? Pfizer.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer. Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press data download. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Bill Gates' advice on how to combat mistrust in science at 60minutesovertime.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You really need to get vaccinated.
COVID vaccines are now available for children 5 years and older.
Gross.
And the more people who get them, the better we're going to be able to help stop the spread of COVID.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Moving on from that was hilarious. I hope you guys got a laugh out of that one. We got some more news, tweets, and tabs to go through, and we'll get into some more memes of the morning. Did you know that Twitter moved into #1 position on the Apple App Store for the U.S. news, supposedly? And if you don't think this is all being planned, scripted, and rolled out by the powers that be, you are gone retarded, full retard mode. Obviously, Twitter is being pushed to the top because they're trying to radicalize the two sides. A house that is divided will not stand. You would literally have the Republican and the Democrat houses divided, right? Except for against, they stand partisan on Israel. Everything else is not partisan, but they will always promote the Zionist state of Israel, the occupied state of Palestine. Moving on here, if you didn't know that all of virology is a Freemasonic hoax lie. Here is the first Freemason who invented immunology, Edward Jenner. And also, yes, as you can read here on the meme, he was a Freemason. Freemasons created all the nonsense, all the dis and misinformation, including dinosaurs, heliocentrism, everything. They're all Kabbalists. They all wear tiny hats. And here you go. It's nothing new. Freemasons who invented immunology, which is actually the toxification and the poisoning of the body through stopping its natural detox processes. I gotta slow down here. I get riled up when I see these Freemasonic nonsense hoaxes. Now, do you know how to tie a butterfly knot? I didn't know, and this video helped me learn. So let's learn together, okay? Check this out.
Fly. Now, the alpine butterfly is a knot that can be tied mid-line and is commonly used as an attachment point, just like this. It can bear load in any direction and won't bind up on itself. So you could use it as a grab handle or for hoisting or hanging tools and a few other really cool uses which I'll show you at the end. To tie it, it's very simple. Create a bite and just slide your hand through. Now we're just going to wrap it around your hand twice, which should create a total of 3 wraps with the ends extending in opposite directions. And just before I start, think of this as the under, over, under knot.
Under, over, under.
This middle loop, you're going to reach under and grab that middle loop and just pull it through, pull some slack, bring it over the two loops and under them to the front. Under, over, under. We're going to grab that loop, then just grab the 2 back ends tight, pull them together first, and then we're going to pull them apart second, and it's going to lock that loop perfectly in place, creating the alpine butterfly. And my absolute favorite use for this knot is to secure and retrieve a rope when you cast it on a high branch without having to climb the tree. Normally, if you'd want to tie a rope high up in a tree, you've got to climb the tree, tie to a branch, or slip a carabiner there and pull the rope all the way up. But that rope can easily get stuck up there, and that leads you to climbing the tree just to get the carabiner off. With the alpine butterfly though, it could be retrieved just like this. Cast your line up and over the tree like normal, thread your line through the butterfly, then just keep pulling and that butterfly will slowly raise until it's tight to the tree at the top. Now you could pull on that line and it's completely secured to the branch. When you're ready to take it down, you pull on the line that has your butterfly attached and the whole thing comes down.
Cool, right? Now we know how to tie a butterfly knot. I wanted to learn that, and I'm glad you guys got to learn that with me too. Let's check out some more of this here news. This one here is cool. This is a video, I think it's from Mountain Men, a TV show, but look at how great and smartly trained these shepherds are. They're herding the goats into their cages, doing a walk around to make sure everybody's good. This one gets up in his cage. This one gets on his spot. Look at this. He's waiting for the other one. Get him, get in the truck, he says. Come on now, get up in there. Shepherds are very smart. And then the last one, waiting his time, he jumps up on the back. Hey, get the door for me, he says. All right, Smiley. I'll get the door. And he goes on and gets the door. It's amazing what you can do if you actually spend a little bit of time training your animals. You can teach them to do so much great things. Moving on here. Why does fear kill? This is an interesting post here. It says, I believe the body has a hierarchical energy distribution. Dealing with stress and fear are prioritized way above the detox processes. So unfortunately, the body can only detox when, quote, all is well, end quote. So the fear they push literally actually kills people, especially those who are, yes, recently poisoned. It's sad, but we are learning the truth. So what you need to do is if you're dealing with stress and fear, you need to relax and calm yourself down. You need to trick the body into thinking that you're calm, that everything is okay, and then it'll actually start to detox. And that's how we can move on through these difficult situations healthfully. This one says, Trump leads outrage. Yes, again, after discovery of Biden kept classified docs. Trump is now saying, when is the FBI going to raid the White House? Like, how ridiculous is this Freemasonic kangaroo court? Supposedly, like I had said earlier, it was documents that he had since he was vice president. He kept the classified Where do people think that they're putting these classified documents? I don't understand how gone are people's brains. How gone? For people to think that Donald Trump kept secret classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and that Joe Biden, he took home the papers and put them into his file folder inside of his drawer from 1985. People are gone retarded. It's 2023 now. This is all fake nonsense, mis, and disinformation. And the government are lucky. They are lucky that we don't have more power and that we're not actually being seen and heard. Because if more people could understand the truth and walk away from this mal, and harmful information, we would be so much better off. I can't even believe that people think this is real. I am just blown away at the ability that people go on and believe this nonsense. This is why we do the Rise and Grind. If you think that Trump is trying to fight Joe Biden because Joe Biden has secret documents from 2012, something is gone in your brain. Like, you are not well. You need to watch all the Rise and Grinds from last March to now.
Nobody touching this pretty much.
And then you might actually figure out the psyops that are at foot. This is retarded. I don't even need to read any more of the article. I can just tell you straight off the bat that this has just gone retarded land. We got to move on past this. We've got so much left to show and share. Do you think it was a good decision for Biden? This is a rhetorical question, but you could think about it, to extend the Cerveza emergency again. You know, what's coming out here in the comment sections is people are saying no. For Big Pharma, hell yes. For everyone else, heaven no. Right? We don't need the lockdowns. They need to open up travel. People should be able to travel the realm freely. The Creator made it so we could enjoy the realm, not so that we could put up walls everywhere and tell everybody that if they don't get this, that they're not allowed to participate in society. So, absolutely, James Sintolo, Biden should have never extended the Cerveza Emergency Act. It needs to go, and it needs to go as fast as possible. The time is now about to tick 7 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. If you're late for work, come on, leave your keys hanging by the door every night. Leave early. Leave early so that you can just take your time. When you take your time on the roads, you're much safer. And we really want people to get to work safe. If you're watching the podcast, just listen to it. Put it on. I try to have good quality sound so that you can hear me while you're driving. Don't look at the camera. I'm not that good looking anyways. So just watch the road. Moving on to the news of the morning. We got Isaac Newton is listed on the page here and admitted that we go on to here to say that there was some interesting skeptical things that happened with Newton. Not only did he invent the thought experiment, which was birthed the satellites, so he said that he would imagine that if he was to shoot a cannonball at the right angle, at the right amount of power, that cannonball would just continuously circle the sphere Earth forever. And that's how they've gone and lied to you about satellites. But not only that, Isaac Newton was the guy who invented gravity. He was a Pythagorean vegetarian fag who hated women. Don't mind you, this is what you can find yourself. And he also created the Society of Jesus, which is the Jesuits. And yes, he was a guy that forged gold. Hated women, lived with a man, loved this man, couldn't stand being even in the sight of women. These people are twisted, sick demons that were indwelling in human bodies. Sure enough, look at this crazy ass wig that this crazy creepo is wearing. If you think Isaac Newton came up with anything that's true, your mind is gone. We got to move on past Isaac Newton. We've got still so much to share. Have you seen the and X1.06 solar flare that's taken place. So what they do is they show you these CGI satellites. They show you the fake pictures. A lot of the stuff that they record is done from ground-based telescopes, right? They do have that. But all this stuff here that they bring out to you is CGI nonsense. Moving on here from no X-class flares in a couple of months to 3 in 5 days. So pop, pop, pop. What we are seeing is the end times. The weather is getting crazy. Yesterday we witnessed, 6, 7 tornadoes race through Alabama. These are snow tornadoes, okay? I don't know about you. I'm 42 last time I checked, and I've never seen winter snow tornadoes, bomb cyclones. We've got atmospheric rivers flooding the out of California. The weather is getting crazy, earthquakes in crazy places, but here we go with the New World Order. What they do is they're going to come out with CGI. They're going to come out with Ryan Hall, y'alls, and they're going to try to tell you this is normal. Oh, this is normal. Cities were absolutely devastated by tornadoes yesterday. This has not happened on January 13th or 12th ever in my life. Things are getting crazy. Keep your seatbelts on and make sure you know who the path to salvation is. Moving on here, yeah, the new region of the Northeast, AR 3186, they're calling it. So what a sunspot is actually, when you look at it, it's a dark spot on the sun that cartwheels. It doesn't spin like this, like they try to show you nonsense CGI. It cartwheels like this through the sky. Everybody sees only one face of the sun and one face of the moon, one face of all the luminaries, all the stars, which they call planets, which are luminaries, lights in the sky. We only see one face, okay? They're two-dimensional objects being projected into our circle of sights, okay? But they've got all this mis and dis and malinformation coming to you for this. And the reason why, and they've got other people coming out, let's stop this music, and talking about how cataclysmic events, so they've got the mud flood psyop, because yes, we have mud floods all the time. When it rains too much, when rivers overflow, when things like this take place, mudslides everywhere. There's nothing new, but they want to tell you that it's Tartarian, and then they lead you down to some dark, occultic, nonsensical, divisionary tactic. But here we go, check this out.
The last episode is fantastic because you bring kind of everything together of all of your travels around the world and talk about this event that happened in a fascinating way I'd never thought of before, where it was, I think it was like a comet's wake that hit all around the Earth. Can you maybe talk about that? Because it then pulls in all the things that you've just discovered. It's almost like a
It does indeed.
Flashback
When you're talking about a lost civilization, you really inevitably have to talk about a cataclysm. You're not going to lose a whole civilization.
So we have the flood, which can be verified, and you can find physical evidence everywhere, including all the strata layers as they were pumped by the water. They've been sifted to different regions that you can actually dig up in the ground just about anywhere, and you'll see that there was a great cataclysm that took place. True.
To the point where it's remembered in myths and traditions, where there are some anomalous and unexplicable artifacts. You're not going to lose a whole civilization unless there was a huge cataclysm. And I was aware of this when I wrote Fingerprints of the Gods, which was published in 1995.
Fingerprints of the Gods.
From a whole range of sources that there had been a cataclysmic event. And I put it somewhere around 12,500 years ago. The astronomy is very important.
Listen, how do these clown shoes even come up with a number like that? Radiocarbon dating, you can have hundreds of thousands of years from the toe to the ear of the mammoth. Just in one specimen. One specimen can be tested in multiple areas, whether it be a bone, whether it be a whatever fossil, whatever it is they test. You can be off by hundreds of thousands of years from this radiocarbon dating. It's nonsense. The only thing we can actually date back things are actual genealogies and through metallurgy and a bunch of other things that have changed. We've gone through transitions where we can actually verify these things. Anybody that tells you the Earth is older than 6,000 years, they are absolutely lying. So the oldest tree that we can actually measure is called Methuselah, which just happens to be the character in the old scriptures, who was just there before the flood. Now, the tree is roughly 4,500 years ago, and that's how we can date the actual flood date. We actually have physical evidence. If anybody comes to you and tells you that the Earth is 40,000 or 30 million years, run. They are lying to you. They are pouring poison into your consciousness.
Ryan correlation link to 12,500 years ago, the way the belt stars line up perfectly with the pyramids 12,500 years ago.
The belt stars still line up perfectly with the pyramids today because they were only built a few hundred years ago, tops. The alignments and everything were done the sky has never changed. That's how things are aligned. It's not like they just realigned. They've always been aligned, north, east, south, and west, and they built them with that in mind. And it was only done by the Freemasons. They made sand castles in the desert. It's all made out of sand. We've got videos showing them cutting apart the Egyptian monuments and statues because using hand saws, because they were just made out of sand. They took the sand in the desert and made a concrete out of it, and they piled the blocks up. That's it. There's no 12,000-year-old nonsense cataclysmic event tied to it. Moving on here, we've got more of this. Check this out.
It's the apocalypse, end of days, the judgment day, the end of the world, my friend. The Mayans knew about it, the Hopis, the I Ching, the Bible.
What would you say if I told you that everything happening in the world today was predicted in a book that was written over 2,000 years ago? The information I'm about to lay out for you has been discussed for thousands of years. However, our generation is the only generation in the history of the world who is lucky enough to see these things come to pass. And it's happening right before our very eyes. Now, at this point, some of you may be saying to yourselves, but the Bible was written by men, and Jesus Christ is just a myth. So why should we believe in some fairy tale from a time long ago? Fairy tale? Myth? Actually, this couldn't be further from the truth. The truth of the matter is that Jesus Christ was an actual historical figure
whose name was Yahawahashai. Jesus means earth pig.
Life was well documented in non-biblical historical records. He was even documented performing miracles. His crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension are all matters of historical record. Real historians and scholars from all over the world agree on these things, and anyone who investigates these matters for themselves will reach the same conclusions. And I'm not talking about just Googling something or reading articles written by people who have an agenda. I'm talking about source material, original documents, and historical records. These things have no agenda and are not open to interpretation. They simply tell it as it is. Now,
so, I mean, if you haven't done the research and you don't know what time it is or where you are and what's going on, you should be doing that, because why else were you created? It was to investigate your reality and then to investigate who you are and then become who you were created to be. I just wanted to point that out. It's interesting that all things are aligning right now, and all the things that were written about in the scriptures are actually being fulfilled. They're being fulfilled. If you're not paying attention, you're missing all of it. But you can hang out here on the Rise and Grind, and I will go through it with you guys step by step. Have you guys heard about Kazakhstan? I mean, I'm still going to continue to bring this up. Who built this place? Who did this construction? Who are these people? What is going on in Kazakhstan? I want to put that on you, the viewer. Do some research. Find out more what's going on in this crazy city of Kazakhstan. It doesn't look like they're going through any of the things that we're going through. It looks like that civilization is just booming. Moving on, we're almost through this morning. This one is just crazy news. Texas has a record budget surplus, they're saying, of 33. Of course, they 6 million and 33 are the only numbers that these clown shoes could come up with. But apparently a surplus of $33 billion. But that money doesn't belong to the government, says Abbott. It belongs to the taxpayers, which is illegal and against the Constitution, right? But here he goes on and says, I want to deliver the largest property tax cut in Texas history. So we're going to be watching this. Are they going to take away taxes? That's one of the things that Trump might run on. He's going to say, I'm going to repeal. There's going to be no more taxes in the United States of America. Poor Canadians are probably just losing it. You lose what, like 35% of your paycheck goes to the government in Kazakhstan. Moving on, check this out.
All airlines ordered to pause domestic flights. This is all breaking news right now on January 11th.
Coming from Donut.
Interesting timing, because Friday the 13th is coming up, and a few days after that, Davos was coming up on the 16th. And they also planned stuff like Cyber Polygon. Cyber Polygon was planned to go on July 8th last year, but they canceled it. But coincidentally, that exact same day, Rogers Communications went down in Canada.
Go figure.
And call 911, their internet, their cell phone networks all went down. This is breaking. What are your thoughts? Put your comments down below.
So yeah, that is what's going on. If anyone's not paying attention, I got to turn the music up. They are actually doing their psyops and hoaxes as we speak and as we cover the news. There's probably one going on right now. As you can see on this next link, it says a few days ago, little bit loud here. It says a few days ago, WF warned of, quote, global cyber attack. We don't live on a globe and your cyber attacks are fake. And we've had flights all grounded in the US and Canada, they're saying, due to technical issues. And now we have Royal Mail suffering another massive cyber attack. And yesterday, the Danish central bank was hit by hackers. No coincidence. I expect more coming. So as you can see, we are dealing with what's going on, and we are trying to show you guys everything that they're doing. They are pulling off all these fake cyber attacks. So what they're going to do is probably shut off the internet, shut off our power. Who knows what they got planned, but we're watching it, and we're going to try to keep you abreast to the situation so that you don't run out of toilet paper. We want you to be stocked up on toilet paper and all the other things that you might need. We're going to continue on. We're almost done the news of the morning, and then we'll get into some more memes. This one says Sweden's central bank to report 7.7 billion loss for 2022. Go figure. They shut the whole world down and the economy down. Of course, Sweden's central bank is going to lose money. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. Here we go. You want to get your screenshots out. Exclusive list of every U.S. politician and official attending Davos next week. We can see a few of these names here. If we zoom in, we got John Kerry, Catherine Tai, Martin J. Walsh, Samantha Power. You can take a screenshot if you want. Mnuchin. All these people are absolute cuck, sellout shills, doing exactly what Azazel needs them to do. But we're going to call them out. This has to be one of the most impressive work I've seen with dexterity, timing, and rhythm from this guy. This is how we want to promote when you get into the flow state at work through repetition, through focus, and through practice. Look at this. This is amazing. Check this out. Wow. This guy's on fire. Bending them as he goes. Switch hands. Sticking the nail in. Tap. Bam. Bam. It's amazing. Woo! Little end part. Let's watch it again. This is awesome. Shout out to this guy. Timing, accuracy, flow state, focus, and repetition. You could do anything. Love it. I thought that was great. Really well done. Thank you very much for this. The producer always serves up great stuff. We do have a silent producer with a super heavy hand and a great intellect, and he does help with a lot of this content, and he is an absolute amazing help and does a great job. This one here, if you believe it or not, okay, when I got sent this from Jason of Awake Souls yesterday morning, I couldn't believe it. It says here, open your eyes. Make sure you're reading here. Super popular Canadian chain Tim Hortons apparently wants to open in Austin. The restaurant chain is looking to run 40 to 50 franchise locations in the city. So I'm not going to have to, go through the Cerveza agenda, somehow break the thing, go across the border. They are going to bring Timmy's to me. Right? They're going to bring Timmy's to me. And it's not funny because I've been saying to Jason since I got here, roughly in 2017, is they don't have enough good, fast coffee places. Right? So we have a thermos now that we use for work where we take a pot of extra coffee with us during the day. Because I grew up in Canada, northern Ontario, and we have Tim Hortons on every corner. Your town might not have anything, but it will have a Tim Hortons. The funny thing is one of the quotes here from the article, it says Tim Hortons, which is a kind of like Canada's version of, they call Shipley Donuts. I don't know what this is. Jason says it's pretty good. And it's known for its, so Tim Hortons is known for its coffee, and they say Timbits, then they call them AKA donut holes. And other toxic breakfast items, such as sandwiches, wraps, chicken strips. I think they put heroin in the coffee. But the original person who created Tim Hortons was Miles Gilbert, who went by his middle name or third middle name, Tim. He created Tim Hortons. He was a hockey player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I definitely remember growing up hearing about him from my dad and my grandfather, and I too play hockey. But Tim was tired of going to other towns and not having a place to get good coffee. So he invented a coffee shop, called it Tim Hortons, and it is really good. And apparently they're going to open 40 or 50 here in Austin, Texas, the first American franchise city to get it. I thought that was interesting. Check this out. Someone has filmed the sun with Chicago in front of it. It happens from this angle once a year as the sun passes through this gate. If we knew exactly where he was, we could tell you which Enochian gate this is. If it's recent, right, it's going to be in gate 1 or gate 2. But we're going to be going into some more of that later on during the debate with Awake Souls and T-Jump. We're looking forward to that. This is interesting. Let me get the background music. I like to always promote self-defense. So it says only women watch, but hey, some of you men out there are a little soyed up. You might need to learn how to do this too so you can defend yourself or your woman too. So it's not just for women. This is for everybody, especially any of the cucks out there that need to toss testosterone up. Look, here's some simple, easy ways to defend yourself. Watch. Strike to the nuts. Back fist to the nuts. Punch to the face. Good move. Someone's got you by the knife. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Boom. Stabbing him with his own knife. There you go. That's the safe way. Someone grabs you like this from around the chest area. Boom. Always go for the nuts, ladies. Don't be shy. Go for those nuts as hard as you can. Don't do that move, you'll slice your own neck. Don't do that move either. Boom. That one's a bit more advanced. It's almost like a cop hammer hold. Poke the eyes, great thing to teach. Women, poke out those eyes. Go for the Adam's apple. Knock it out. Great advice. Kick to the nuts is always good to do. Someone comes and wraps you like this, back elbow fist, kick to the nuts. Excellent work again. This is what we want to try to promote here on the Rise and Grind. Learn how to defend yourself. All women and children should know how to protect themselves. And you need to be safe. You need to be prepared because, hey, this world is gross and disgusting. And I want the women that watch to know how to defend themselves. Stomp on the foot, back elbow to the nuts, poke to the eyes, grab the tongue, punch the throat, other areas, under the armpit, up inside the groin, beside the male jewels, family jewels. If you grab that area beside the thigh, it is absolutely excruciatingly painful. We are going to get into more self-defense type videos moving on in the future. Last couple tweets, we're going to do a song break and get into some more memes before we head out for our Friday. Don't head out. Make sure you tune in on Awake Souls at 12 p.m. Central today. This one says, breaking. New Twitter file exposes how Democratic politicians knowingly sped the Russiagate lie. Like, how do people not know that the CIA is in control? The FBI, what do you got? The 4,200 out of Palestine. They are all in control. The Democrats and Republicans are just actors fulfilling a role. But yet we've got freedom fighters like Elon Musk now supposedly dropping the files. I guess first Julian Assange wasn't enough. He was a fake character that they brought out, CIA. Then it was QAnon. They killed QAnon on the January 6th nonsense where they stormed the White House. Now it's Elon Musk breaking the news and truth, fighting freedoms for you, a fake-ass billionaire that created stupid-ass free energy technology. The cars are garbage. They die when it's cold. You can't charge the battery while it's running. You have to hook up a trolley case to hold a generator so that when you run out of gas on the highway, you can plug it back in. He is not fighting for freedom. This is mind control, Tavistock, dismiss, and malinformation. Stay as far away from it as possible. You can read about it, but don't think the deep state is fighting the deep state. You've got to be brain dead to think that the government is going to actually fight against the government. They're all lobbyists. They got put there. They got given suitcases of money and free black credit cards with unlimited things. And as soon as they do anything against what they're told, they have all that taken away. So they're the most controlled, chained up people in the realm. Couple more here. No, this is the last one of the news. Up to 5,000 soldiers are going to be deployed to secure upcoming WEF meetings in Davos on the 16th. They need to have 5,000 military soldiers there to protect these dictators and politicians and other scumbags as they go there to try and plot our demise, to figure how can we screw the innocent people more? How can we take away more freedoms? What's the next plan? They're going to meet and they need to have 5,000 soldiers there. Us, we meet in the daylight in freedom in open spaces without any soldiers. We're not afraid to die. You are. We're free. And your time is almost up, Klaus Schwab, and all of you cucked out nonsense liars and deceivers. You're going to pay. So we're going to see you guys after this break.
I was hoping that you'd fall for me, yeah. But instead I realized heart tonight. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. I just wanna tell you that you can have my heart tonight. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. Girl, only you make me fall in love, and then you break my heart to put it back together again. You wanna hold me tight, but then you let me fall to hurt me one last time again. Baby, I know you're no good for me. I can see it in your eyes. Lately I've been trying to live my life, but you turn it upside down. I just wanna tell you that you can have my heart tonight. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. I just wanna tell you that you can have my heart tonight. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. Girl, only you make me fall in love, and then you break my heart to put it back together again. You wanna hold me tight, but then you let me fall to hurt me one last time. Only you make me fall in love, and then you break my heart to put it back together again. You wanna hold me tight, but then you let me fall to hurt me one last time again. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. I just wanna tell you that you can have my heart tonight. Your hurting brings me back to life. Yeah, you know how to do it right. Girl, only you make me fall in love, and then you break my heart to put it back together again. You wanna hold me tight, but then you let me fall to hurt me one last time. Only you make me fall in love, and then you break my heart to put it back together again. You wanna hold me tight, but then you let me fall to hurt me one last time again.
What a good new vibe and tune. That's Jagger with Only You. Brand new track coming in. Let's get back into the memes of the morning. Thank you for tuning in. It's 7:21 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. This one says, go on and just keep these on. It says here, you won't die suddenly. The tinfoil hats will keep you safe. Following the path of truth will always keep you safe, okay? That's the way to be. That's the way to do it. Always follow the truth. And if tinfoil will protect us, this is aluminum foil. I gotta make sure I get this right. I don't want to twist it up. It's not tinfoil, it's aluminum foil, okay? Let's keep moving on. My head is kind of mal-shaped because I was a preemie, I think. My glasses don't ever fit right. I was watching my last podcast, and I noticed sometimes they were like this, and I thought it was kind of funny, but I'm trying to keep them on straight. Come on, let's go. I got some more stuff to show you guys. Check this out. Globies showing up for a Globe Earth debate. What do we got here? It says here, never go full retard. They're going to have evolution, right? Netflix is going to be one of the things that they... Hang on, let's zoom in here. We're too far away. Oh, that went the wrong way. Zoom in. So we got... Let's check this out. I don't know who made this, but it's hilarious. Globers showing up for debates. They got evolution. They got going full retard. They got globe, pear-shaped globe. Bob Nodell, the guy who faked the supposed measurement of Earth's 15 degrees of rotation, makes this meme. I think that's hilarious. Neil deGrasse Tyson with his fake-ass gravity thing where he showed that the microphone is lighter than air, so it falls, right? Everything that goes up must come down. And again, you got, we would go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we lost that technology, and it's just too hard to build back. Don Pettit, who can't go back in the pool because he doesn't want to swim in the urine from the other astronauts. So moving on from that one, good morning, everybody. Oh, I got to put this back to its regular size. And we're trying to get the background music a little bit louder this week. We're trying to bring the volumes and everything back up to correct levels. We're always trying to better ourselves. Each and every week, we might not always do our best. We might make mistakes, but we do promise on this team to show up and to show up for the truth and to document this for the future generations. This one says the manufacturer is not responsible. No, the government also not responsible. The Jabolid doctor, not responsible. But if you're not Jabolid, hey, you're responsible. Go figure. Get that inside your brain. This is the nonsense that we're seeing in 2023. You better not go out and get responsibilized. Stay as far away from being that kind of responsible as possible. Moving on here, bombshell report. Pro-lockdown and mask mandate surveys the doctors on Twitter have been revealed as fake accounts. Newsflash, Chuck Costello, they're, whatever your name is, they're all fake. Everyone that's on Twitter, all the different celebrities, anybody that's promoted that's got 3, 4, 1,000 different likes or shares, anyone that they're all agents promoting nonsense disinformation. They're being propped to the top of the search results, and they're doing it there to mind control you. So watch out for all the fake accounts on social media. You can always tell because they always slip in lies. Truth and lies. That's what they tell here. Moving on here. We're almost through the morning. Celebrity worship syndrome. Do you suffer from this? I'm pretty sure nobody tuning in suffers from this, but this is a huge problem in society today. It says here, the worship of athletes, musicians, and anyone with celebrity status is part of the reason why many people in society suffer so greatly, right? It is also one of the direct causes of people feeling not enough. People are looking for something to believe in because they've been programmed not to believe in themselves and cultivate a meaningful life. This is what we want to promote here, cultivating you. A fan is short for the word fanatic, and the definition of the word fanatic is a person filled with excessive and single-minded zeal. Right? We don't want fans. We have teammates, family members, and fellow truthers. Not fellow. I don't even like the word fellow because it's stupid as Freemasons. We have people that are investigating reality. We meet together, we share the truth, and we come out and we document it. That's what we do on this team. We're not single-minded, filled with zeal. Okay, we're not fans. We're not fanatic. We don't worship any celebrities. Actually, one of the largest problems that we have today is the reason that people worship celebrities and athletes. They are the ones used in the scripts by the New World Order PSYOP agendas. It's not new. They've been doing it for a long, long time. Musicians, actors, artists, hockey players, football, they're all being used to run PSYOPs on us. Don't get it twisted. We'll do a few of these. We'll do some more music. We've got some more great music. This one says, those who follow blindly, leave the door wide open for, this word needs to be changed to Azazel or wickedness, okay? You have two paths. You can be a righteous person with a righteous heart. You could want to wake up and do better in the realm. You could be a wicked person that wants to have a wicked heart and you just want to gain. You'll do anything to gain. You'll hurt, lie, cheat, steal. You'll just narcissist it up just to gain. So you have two choices. You can follow the righteous path, one of a humble heart, an encourager that shows up, that wants to build people up and share truth and knowledge, or you can be someone that's just about getting money, cars, sex, the next thing, the grass is greener. You decide on the other side of the screen what you want to do. But if you're not blind, you have a much easier choice of having a righteous heart. Keep your eyes open and don't only see with your eyes, but see with your heart and your soul. That's what we want to try to promote here. Moving on to a super interesting meme of the morning. This one says, the inventor of the dinosaur hoax. The greatest hoax, one of the greatest hoaxes ever sold, not the greatest. Part of the great heliocentric lie that was born so that atheists could have a religion. Therefore, what they did was they took the worship of the true creator and they put it upon the creation. So these mystic Kabbalists invented heliocentrism so that the creation could be worshipped. A big bang is what they worship, right? But here with the dinosaurs, it says Sir Richard Owen, who created the term dinosaur, wanted to prove evolution to be true. He knew that many in his scientific community embraced the same goals. Obviously, they're all working together. He was broke and desperate to succeed. After his invention of the dinosaur in 1842, lo and behold, amazingly, the first dinosaur discovery happened in 1858. Here you go. You heard it here on the Rise and Grind. Don't be fooled. Dinosaurs are a hoax to perpetuate heliocentrism, so that atheists could have a religion. This one says, how come we aren't seeing any politicians collapsing? I'll leave that one up to you to figure out. But it's pretty obvious is they're not taking the poison, right? That's my guess. Moving on from this one, video games are super toxic, right? Video games are a tool of the Matrix to keep you distracted. They actually desensitize you to death, right? Children, adults even, grown men are lost in fantasy land. They make love to computer screens through fake porn and kill thousands of people daily using simulators. They are truly, it says here, trapped in the Matrix. Don't be trapped in the Matrix. Go out and live real life. share yourself in the reality in your avatar. Don't do these things through the computer screen, right? Don't play video games wanting to kill people. Try to build your mind up. Play video games that involve strategy, right? You can use video games. If you're a hockey player, you have a kid playing hockey, and he plays the video game of hockey, there's a chance that he's going to be a better hockey player. So there are ways to utilize video games, but we need to be careful of what we're putting into our minds. Just like food, what we see, what we hear, what we think affect our bodies and our spiritual well-beings. We want to try to promote good ways to do these things. This one says, it's remarkable how many people believe themselves intellectually superior for repeating what authority tells them. It's also remarkable how school is structured to reward students for repeating what authority tells them to. I wonder if there's a connection here. I'm going to leave that up to you. That was a rhetorical question. Now, one of the most disgusting memes of the morning. Did you know about the Puerto Rico experiments? So did you know, in 1931, American oncologist Dr. Cornelius Rhodes was sent to Puerto Rico by the Rockefeller Institute to conduct a series of experiments. As part of his work, he intentionally infected Puerto Rican citizens with cancer cells. One of his, quote, experiments, end quote, notes allegedly contained the following. The Puerto Ricans are the dirtiest, laziest, most degenerate and thievish race of man ever to inhabit. He calls this realm a sphere, which is just a satanic Azazel term for the different spheres or the heavens that are around us. The earth itself is a flat, stationary, motionless plane. But moving on, I have done my best to further the process of extermination by killing off 8 and transplanting cancer into several more, ... All the physicians out there that are sick and twisted like this guy, Cornelius, delight in the abuse and torture of unfortunate subjects. That's what they're doing. They're demons infesting in human body. And the note was discovered and, published in the Puerto Rican news and in the United States as well. But yes, it was quickly hushed up and removed by the Rockefeller Foundation. The Rockefeller Foundation are the ones who brought you pharmakia, big pharma. They took away a bunch of things that were needed. So this is an interesting one. Did you know about Cornelius Rhodes and the Puerto Rican experiments? This one here says it's a lot easier to tell yourself you're a hero, right? To build yourself up, pat yourself on the back, than it is to realize that you've been complicit in one of the biggest frauds in history. Right? For anyone that's watching that might be one of these types of workers, come out, expose it, tell the truth, stand up for freedom. If you lose your life that way, you will save it. But if you try to save your life through this nonsense, you are going to lose it. Time is running out. The moons are flying by super fast right now. If you're not paying attention, here we go. How can you tell truth is being told? These are simple ways. Facebook blocks it, Twitter bans it, Google hides it, YouTube will delete it, and the government will censor it. And of course, the lamestream media never ever mentions it. That's how you can tell if things are being blocked or banned, or if it's truthful. These are the easy ways. We'll do a few more, and then we're going to get into another song break here. Just for anybody that might not know, there is no cloud in the sky housing our software data. It's just someone else's computer. They built big computer mainframes. I built them in Ontario. I built these big, huge buildings that house all these different servers and different systems. They're just collecting all the data. It's being recorded multiple places. Palestine has it. The UK has it. Canada has it. Australia. They all share all this data. And they use it to mind control us, to divide us, and many other things that we don't have 5 hours to get into. This one here is good. It says, when you give them enough information in the meme itself to do their own research, but they still say link. It's super pathetic. How can people not, at the ends of their fingertips, with their cell phones, with their computers? If you have a computer, I strongly recommend that you use Apple product like Mac. It seems to be the best. How can you not do your own research? If you see something that interests you and it catches your attention, further research it. Type it into the Google search with keywords. Now, everything about research is about keywords. If you have the keywords, you can discover anything. You can find any meme, you can find any story, you can find any truth. You just have to remember the keywords and get yourself acquainted with understanding the keywords that they use against us, so you can use the keywords back against them. And we've got some still great music. My favorite song, obviously, of the week, maybe of 2023, and for the rest of the year too, My Cool with Let's Talk About It. But we're not going to play that one next. We've got another one. I'm going to see you guys after this break. forever. That was a repeat from last week. Let's get back into the memes of the morning before we go about our Friday the 13th. Good morning. The time is now 7:37 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and we've got some more information to show you. Check this out. Have you seen Klaus Schwab's new wheel? It says here, ready to spin the wheel this year for this year's fear-induced crisis? What we got here on the wheel here? Could it be? Right now it's on economic collapse. We've got new inflation record. If you're not out there trying to buy chicken eggs, you got a problem. If you don't have chickens, you're going to have serious problems is what I mean to say here. New war. We might have one of those. Everyone is a racist, apparently. Climate change 2.0. We got new pandemic. Engineered food shortage. Cyber attacks just happens to be the part of the wheel that we are on today. So I thought this one was good. This is very important, okay? There's only one race. One. The human race. It doesn't matter which color your avatar suit skin is, okay? We need to love each other, and we need to treat each other with respect. And we need to give respect, and we need to get respect. And that's the way we're going to do it together. Don't idealize yourself and be in some stuck. I'm white, because you ask the Jayish people that are white, are you white? They said, no, we're Jayish. Soon as you idealize yourself as one of these colors or one of these nations, you're easily controlled, divided, and separated. And that's all they want to do is just divide everybody. So don't be divided anymore. Go on, let's love each other equally. And let's do what's right for the future. Stand up and show the truth, speak the truth, and put the energy waves out into the realm, right, through the morphogenetic fields, and they can pick up on it. That's what we do here. We don't need any viewers. We need to put the truth out because it happens in a supernatural way. And I can't really start to explain the heavenly things. Let's just stay with the earthly. Check this out. Most children are taught that obedience to authority is a virtue, right? And even most adults still think bowing to a ruling class is what makes someone a good person. Absolutely not. It says, on the contrary, being a moral human being requires understanding right and wrong and doing the right thing even when authority tells you not to. Okay, do you guys understand this? Saying no, I will not do that. I'm not going to follow your stupid orders. That's what we need. That's what we need to do. We know the Milgram experiment showed that innocent people would shock other people just because they were told by someone else, hey, if this person gets this question wrong, and even if they got the question right, they still said shock them, and people did, right? So what we need to do is stand up for what's right, for being righteous, for having a good, strong heart, and not bowing down to these stupid-ass ruling elites. This is how we get back. Teach your children to be strong. If somebody does something to them, you tell them to say no. You tell them to stand up for themselves, defend themselves with their voices, with their words. Everything that you do, you build your children up to be strong, to be leaders, to be warriors, to be self-independent. Free thinkers. This is what we're going to do. And the New World Order can't stop us. Moving on here are some super alkaline superfoods that you should be consuming, right? Take a screenshot, zoom this in, make sure that you get it down. I don't know why that's not centered, right? My OCD moment. Dates, key limes, mangoes, watermelons, apples, bananas, berries, grapes, melons, oranges. I'm sure everybody can get these. Avocados, bell peppers, cucumbers, ginger. I like ginger with my sushi. Kale, mushrooms, okra. Okra is very popular down here in Austin and the South. Olives, we have those last night on our salmon salad. Onions, squash. We've got so many different things. Wild rice. We got Brazil nuts. Hemp seeds are really good. Walnuts, cherries, papayas, and figs. If you're not eating these foods, I can't help you. Okay, if you have anything wrong in your diet and you need a boost, these are the alkaline superfoods that help balance our bodies. Our avatar suits are alchemical, they're alkaline, and we need to keep them at a proper pH balance. Okay, just like with the soil when we're growing plants, it has to be at the proper. We are like a flower, okay, and we need to start treating our bodies better. So get you some of these alkaline superfoods. I know it's probably expensive in the north right now to get any of these fresh products, but go on and get them. Make sure you're having a good variety of daily nuts. There's so many different things that we need to be putting into our diet. Proper correct fats. You know, they told us butter was bad, salt is bad, bacon is bad. All these things are good for you. They're all good for you. Continuing on, we do a few more, and then we got three more songs to go with. It says, you'll never find justice in a world where criminals make the rules. Okay, Freemasonic Kangaroo Court, we've been saying it. Freemasonic Kangaroo Twitter, all of it is the same. Facebook, Twitter, they're all owned by the same people. And you're never going to see freedom or justice in a world where the criminals are in charge. Listen, when Donald Trump took office, you know, the people that know Donald Trump were saying, this is going to get crazy. We got the mob boss running the country. How far have we fallen? How far have we fallen? So Just make sure that you see that you're never going to get justice in a world run by criminals. Never, 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 never. This one's really funny. This one made me laugh. Did you know in the late 1800s and early 1900s, horses were causing so much pollution with their manure, filling the streets, that automobiles were actually seen as, quote, green alternatives? Right? When they invented the car, they said that they were the green alternative. It goes down to stay here on the bottom. In 1881, horses left 2.5 million pounds of manure and 60,000 gallons of urine in the streets of Manhattan alone every day. New York City didn't have a sanitization department to remove it all, so it overflowed in the streets and rotted. That's what we had before we had the car. And lo and behold, just after this, they actually did invent electric cars back then. Right? But so you can see the way that they spin it, like this would have been gross, right? Nobody would have wanted to go in the street. Geez, I wonder how sick people were back then. Look at all these horses in the streets. Although, I mean, how romantic would it be to ride home from work on my horse and jump down to the white picket fence with the swinging chair and the fresh... This would be the life. But we've got to use these cars for now. But continuing on here, if you don't know that they control both the narrative and the counter-narrative, you are absolutely still asleep. You're not awakened yet. You're not realizing the truths. If you don't think that they control both sides of the story, both sides of the coin are the same two wings of the same bird, you're just running in a circle. If you think the Republicans are going to save you from the dark Republican, you're crazy. Right? You need to understand that they control everything. And the way that you do it is by walking away and actually sharing the truth. Have you guys seen what's popping off with the chickens? My chickens now, they're coming out with Louis Vuitton purses. They're getting their nails done. Chickens after the price of eggs went up, right? They just flossing now. I can't believe how rich these chickens are. I'm just so thankful we got like 30 chickens out here. We are just wealthy, right? We're not going to starve. We got chickens. We got fresh eggs. We're not going to eat the chickens because we want them to make eggs. Although we do have 3 roosters and we can breed them. If you rub a certain hyssop tree on a certain one, you'll get white chickens. If I take a cedar tree and rub it on it, we'll get red chickens. So we've looked into the whole how to reproduce more chickens, and they are just flossing it up right now. Super rich. Have you seen Klaus Schwab's new outfit? It says here, resist. He's Klaus the anal Schwaber. He is pro this and this. And as you can see here, I thought this was funny. It made it into the Rise and Grind. Stay away from Klaus Schwab as much as you can here. This one's interesting. 2 years ago, they couldn't wait to tell you how many died, right? Do you guys remember in 2020, 2021? Tickers and death counts on every news station, on all your different weather channels, on your CP24s. It was just ticker, 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 death, death, death. Everywhere, the paper, the internet, every search, death, 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 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 12 months. They just ran it, dying, dying, dying. And now today, people are dying suddenly everywhere. And yeah, we hear crickets. Play cricket sound effect. I don't have it queued up. Why aren't we hearing it now? Why aren't they doing death counts and the died suddenly? Well, VAERS puts out information and then you'll get the skeptics say, well, we don't trust VAERS, right? Well, they're literally telling you if you're too stupid to see it, they believe you deserve what you're going to get. Check this one out. We'll do this one and then maybe another song break. Why do you think cannabis is illegal? Is it because it gets you stoned? Do you think that's why? Because people say they get high? No, cannabis is illegal because it does all of this thing. Modern uses for cannabis today. All of this have been wiped out. They don't want you to know that it's medicine, that you can build anything. Moving down here. Modern uses for cannabis, industrial textiles, paper, building materials, foods, industrial products, consumer textiles. It's really good fibers. The hemp seed oil, seeds, stock, you can build buildings out of it. You can fuel your car, power your whole entire house, and do everything. But what you see here, I'll zoom back out, Carhill, all of these different squares that's on the screen, these are all companies that are benefiting on marijuana being illegal. All these different companies or corporations that fought against the legalization of it because they would all be out of business. So what they did was back in the 50s and 60s, they ran all these crazy propaganda pieces that the same way they do it now. They mind controlled the people into thinking that marijuana was somehow bad, that it was going to harm you. And lo and behold, the Rockefeller Foundation came in and said it's illegal, right? So they made it illegal. But the truth is coming out now that all of these different things actually come from the usage of marijuana and hemp plants. It's one of the greatest plants that was ever put on earth, and we are getting back to using it more. So I just thought that would be great. Look at all these different companies that benefit off of the destruction and the death of marijuana. They are all going to pay. Every single one of these companies, you are all going to pay for what you've done to mankind. This one says, if I had a 10 for every gender, hey, guess what? I'd only have $20 in my pocket. You dumbasses, wake up and realize what's going on. I'm going to see you guys after this break.
I'm a lot to take in, spinning round to keep up with me. Bet that you are trying hard, feel it empty within, filling my heart with stupid things. How can I follow my heart? Babe, I won't ever hold you back. But I do love you, yeah, I do love you. Afraid that this will leave a mark. But what can I
And that was I Need You by Light Force Storm to get us moving in a bit more of a faster pace. Check this out. 50 Shades of Obey. It says here, controlled by government and media propaganda, they comply like good little sheep. A worldwide phenomena called 50 Shades of Obey. Won't you be obeying? Get these masks off and kiss your loved ones good. Nice and slow. Do it right. Take these stupid ass mind control machines off your faces. And breathe the fresh air too. Thanks for tuning in. It's now 7:51 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. It is Friday, January, yes, you heard it, the 13th. And let's move on here. Check this meme out. Why are we sicker today than ever? This one says here, good question. Let's find out by educating ourselves. That's what we want to try to do here. It says, have you ever asked your medical doctor why you're sick? Just go on and do it. Next time you're in, ask them, why am I sick, doctor? He or she actually can't answer you. Only make a wild guess. Want to know why? It says here, because he or she is more clueless than you are. Right? Modern medical doctors are trained by the modern medical quackery system of symptoms management. He or she will just simply give you a prescription and ask you to follow the directions and send you on your merry way, smiling home, right? Then you take your medications thinking you'll get all better, only to get sicker later and again with more symptoms for your doctor to prescribe you even more medicines, right? And it repeats over and over again. Who benefits? Definitely not us or you, the misinformed patient, but yes, the CEO of the big pharma corporations who's making millions in annual salary, poisoning your body from the inside out. It says here, Revelation 18:23, and the light of the candle shall shine no more in all of thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more. It says here, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by sorceries, or the word pharmakia, were all nations deceived. The problem with today's society is everyone is so busy with, trends, fashion, entertainment. Which sports player fell down this week? Which Freemason hoax is Elon Musk exposing? They never actually take the time to go on and ask themselves why. Why are they not learning the truth? Why are they focusing on mal, and misinformation? Why aren't we asking our doctors, why am I sick? Show me the root reasons so that I can heal myself. Right? You're not going to heal yourself with any modern day quackery. Moving on here. Check this one out. The year in 2025, when you accidentally called the bearded, dress-wearing, schizophrenic ranting on the street corner, sir, instead of ma'am, you are fined 1 credit for the violation of the verbal morality statute, right? That's coming to a town near you. Don't you be fooled. This is what they want. Look at this one here. Son, one day you'll be a man, it says. He says, Dad, I'm 32. But you keep watching Marvel movies. I thought that was hilarious, right? Put the Marvel movies down. Come out into reality. Start fighting for truth. Share memes. Share information. Get video clips. Start giving them to people that are looking for the information. Now, don't share the truth with anybody wearing a tiny hat. That's Church of Satan members, Jesuits, Freemasons, Knights of Malta, all these different secret societies. They exactly know what's going on. All your EMTs, your cops, your firemen, all these people are in on the plan. They think they're going to get, 100 virgins in the promised land. That's what they're being told. Kill everybody now. Let's depopulate the earth, and we're going to give you 100 virgins. That's the nonsense that these Freemasonic people think. They're all going to pay. Moving on. Have you guys seen Michael Jackson is supposedly back? I don't know if this is reface. It very well could be. I believe that he is a death faker wholeheartedly. So we thought we'd interject this into the morning show just to see what you guys thought. Did you know that there is enough gold in the oceans for every individual to actually have 4 kilograms of it? Do you know how low the prices of gold would become if we were able to mine all this and actually give each person their own amount of gold, right? And we can use it for a bunch of things. Gold can be used for good connections, not just jewelry, right? It's got many other uses. But yes, this was an interesting did you know. This one here says, Santa Claus doesn't exist. The kid's like, oh no, crying. 20 years later, that same clip, the globe does not exist. Okay. And they're still bawling their eyes out, crying. Get you some tissues. Okay. You were lied to. Okay. Here's one reason that we're going to be showing later that you can see that the earth is not moving. Okay. This is what happens when you have 2 directions of motion. Okay. What we have here is a demonstration. This is demonstrating the Earth's rotation and movement throughout the supposed galaxy, right? There's a marker attached to this wheel. It's on a track, and as this wheel spins, it's going to hit a plexiglass wall that's been built, right? So as it hits that, the marker is now going to show the actual movement and rotation of Earth's supposed movement. Watch what happens. As we see it spinning, as soon as it's now marking the actual motions detected of the 2 rotational motions of axis. Okay, what we see here is it speeds up. This says visualizing acceleration and deceleration of a circle rotating while moving forward. So it's 2 movements of motion. What we see here is that the The circle, the marker itself comes to a dead stop right there, and then it comes to a propelled catapult forwards again. So if the Earth was spinning, flying through the universe, as they say, we would be able to detect and measure both the slowing down to the complete stop, and then it would be like, oh, we're going on forward motion moment. Everybody hold on to the Earth as we get ready to spin. And it's not actually detected or measured anywhere. So this is going to be one of the things that we're going to be talking about later. I didn't put too much of my presentation. I do have some stuff prepared to share into this podcast because I want you to show up on the Awake Souls channel at 12 o'clock. So again, this is showing the absurdity of what would be needed to be measured, not Bob's measuring of spinning a gyro on a Lazy Susan lunch tray. This is what we should be able to measure with Earth's movement, right? We should have an acceleration, so it should start off super fast into a slowdown. I got to pause. I didn't want that. Moving on now. We're almost through. We'll do a couple more, then we'll do another song, and then we'll get out of here. This one says Gematria and Riddles. Okay, I want everyone to understand. Here's the logo that you'll see on Zachary K. Hubbard's chest. He's broadcasting to the world exactly who he works for and who he serves. It says here, as explained, the Jesuit, Illuminati, and Freemasonic Jewish mystics use Gematria to script this world. Everything in history, science, arts, math, etc. is based off of these gematria codes. Okay, don't get it twisted. And they use them as spiritual symbols and as illusions. Your news is scripted along with every word that you speak to. If you follow their agenda, you are actually in their mind control tactic. You have been neuro-linguistically programmed and mind controlled since the womb to be in a life initiate of the Freemasonic occult. Come out of her. Do not be subject to any of this mathemagic. Listen, the fact that their gematria is off, they only have 66 books of the scriptures, and they start with the first book and they end with the last book. They're still missing like 300 books. So to have the true gematria of the scriptures, you need to have the entirety of the scriptures. So you'll need 350 different books. Don't be fooled by any of these people that are trying to tell you that they can explain everything through gematria. It's magic trick. They have 10 different calculators. So whatever word they want to make sense with this number, they can just keep trying their 10. If you do the math on how many different outcomes you can have with 10 calculators, you would be shocked at how much you can make something sound or look exactly the way that you want to mind control your victims. Zachary K. Hubbard is a serious Kabbalist. And he's working for the Jesuits. He even wears their symbol on his chest. Because you know what, guys? It's time to end the satanic New World Order and piss all over their stupid-ass pyramid. I'm going to see you guys after this break.
Come on, brother. Coming from the cracks and the crevices. Looking for a way back home. Damn, these 11 is my medicine.
That was Skrillex with Way Back, just to get us going into the last section of the morning show. I really like that. I used to listen to Skrillex too back in the day. So today, this has been a really, really great morning show. I've enjoyed the time. I'm thankful that we were able to all meet together and go through this information. We're going to continue to fight to do better, to come up with more ways to bring this content to you. We're almost to March. It'll be our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. I'm really looking forward to that. So stay tuned in. Share this with anybody that you might know looking for truth. But my favorite sections of the morning show are always the spiritual talk. This is what I care most about, is learning how to heal myself. And what I'm doing is I'm doing this research to heal myself, and I'm just sharing it with the world. That's it. So maybe you feel a little less alone on the other side of the screen because you're learning with me. But sometimes it's not easy, right? This one says, sometimes it takes an overwhelming breakdown to have an undeniable breakthrough. So it doesn't matter how bad things might be right now for you. You're about to have a breakthrough. You're about to break out. You're about to become the shining star. Listen, the future is bright. If you're an honest, righteous person that has a good heart, that is fighting for the future of the youth, you are going to have a great future. It's going to be so amazing when all the New World Order is gone and we're able to live in peace and we're able to build things. I can't wait. When lies and deceptions are going to be removed from this place, and it's just going to be love, and we're going to get to party and dance and create music and so much more. Just hold on. We are almost there. I promise. Okay. This one says, the woman you are becoming will cost you people, relationships, spaces, and material things. So choose her over everything. Excuse me, please choose her over everything. Don't stop fighting to become who it is that you're becoming, because you're almost there. This one's important too. It says, anything that you lose when you stand up for yourself, protect your boundaries, and begin to grow was not meant for you. It's not meant to stay. It was meant to go. You actually showed who you need in your life, because when you put these boundaries up, the people that care about you start to want to encourage it. They give you your space. They back off. They come through with helpful things. Always be aware of your surroundings, the people that you associate with, the people that you allow into your mind. Be conscious of it all the time, and don't stop putting up your boundaries and fighting to become better, because you're almost there. We're almost there, okay? This one says maturity. Very important. Maturity is not a matter of age. You have matured when you are no longer concerned with showing how clever you are, and give your full attention to, yes, getting the job done right. This is maturity. And sadly enough, many never reach that stage, because no matter how old they get, they continue to just try to be clever. They continue to try to show off. They never actually get into the focus flow state. This is where we are. We do it from a unbiased third person perspective. Okay. You have your consciousness, you have your ego, and then you have other things that try to interact with you. So as long as you push the ego aside and you continue to work out of the third person observer, your soul, your true being, you're going to move in the right place and you're going to mature. We're going to mature together, because what we actually want here is growth. Growth requires us to leave something behind. It can be our habits, beliefs, careers, mindset, and yes, even people. Make space for grief in the midst of your growth too. Very important, because you actually have to mourn your former life to make space for the newer one. Remember, growth starts with a decision to move beyond the present circumstances. So don't gamble on the future. Act now. Be in the now. Be in the present. Don't give yourself tasks that are too hard or too easy. Find meditative music. Remember that we can do meditations through music, through memes, through creations of art, through gardening, through sun gazing, stargazing, our diet. Anytime we get into the flow state, we are meditating and we are super growing. We are growing. We are going to continue to grow. Nothing is going to stop us. We're going to reach the heights of the heavens, and we're going to do it together. Hand in hand, we are going to walk into the kingdom of paradise. It's coming here. Just keep waiting. Keep fighting for truth. It's so close. I can't even tell you guys. I can't wait, okay? I can't wait for us to take these avatar suits off and show everybody who we truly are and what's taken place over the last 6,000 years. Everything is going to be known, just like we showed you the edge of reality. We showed you the boundaries of reality last Sunday on Beyond Flat Earth. If you weren't there for the Pressure and Satellites Debunked podcast, you want to check that out. We are having everything revealed, okay? The reason we were able to show you that it was the edge of reality, it was daytime. We went up in a balloon as high as we could go, and there was nothing beyond the sun. There was no stars. It was blackness. It's not something to be afraid of. It's just the boundaries of this reality, right? The good things is when the boundary gets refreshed, there's going to be no more pain, no more death, no more sadness, no more lies, no more Klaus Schwab trying to infect you with some nonsensical, imaginary, invisible enemy. There'll be no more Elon Musks and Donald Trumps. It's going to be righteous, good characters that want to do better, that maybe still have a lot to work through. The 1,000-year reign is not about going to be perfect. We have to build. We have to work. We have so much, and we do believe that the Hydra might be one of the ways that we're going to be able to be invincible, because the Hydra, you can put it in a blender, you can chop it up. The Hydra regrows itself. So we just need to get that code put into our avatar suits, and we're going to be good. Of course, we're going to have the right diets. We're going to eat healthy if you even want to eat. I don't even know if you have to eat. There's going to be no more day and night. It's just going to be glorious all the time. New colors, new stars, new sky. Everything is going to be made new again. So just keep holding on. And the last one, but not the least, we have to hold on because we're waiting for divine timing. Worrying about how it'll all work out only delays the process and only blocks creativity. Move past overthinking and align with faith. Slow down enough to hear the solution. Trust that everything that you've asked for, yes, is making its way to you, and the delays are being resolved. Blessings are always on time, people, always. So please, have patience, breathe. Remember, divine timing is always perfect. Always, always, always. So again, it's 8:08 in the Central Standard Time. That's 9:08 for everybody on the East Coast. If you're late, slow down. Don't race your car around. Take your time. Always leave early. Leave your keys hanging up at your door. Practice parallel parking. Just do it. Just find somewhere and just practice. Put some pylons out on the road. Just try every day to be a little better than you were yesterday. Go on and love your kids a little bit harder. Encourage the skills that they show you that they like. Don't force a kid to play a piano if he wants to skate hockey, if he wants to play hockey. Find chores for your children to do and encourage them. Teach them that building and creating and working hard is part of being a good person. Don't teach them to be lazy and ignorant and blasphemy. Teach them to be respectful, to hold doors. The men should hold doors for women. Carry the groceries, take the garbage out, cut the grass. Teach men to also be emotionally intelligent so that they can get in touch with their true emotions, so that they're able to act them out and not regress things where it becomes an abusive relationship. We need to build the youth up. We need to move forward. We need to do this together, and we are going to do it every rise and grind one at a time. So please make sure that you tune in today on the Awake Souls channel at it's going to be 12 p.m. Central. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a 4-person conversation with some atheists that are heavy Kabbalists, Pythagoreans, and we're going to expose it and show them, and we're going to get their answers as to how these things can be explained. You know, the physical, observable evidences that Jason and I show, we would like them to look at in an honest way and explain them away. That's what we're going to do. So again, I'm going to leave you guys. This happens to be my favorite song of 2023, and I don't know if it's going to be beaten. I think this one is going to stay at the top of the charts for this Gregorian year, because we know that the year 5993 is actually starting in April, right? The first month of the year, and this end, the spring. We're really excited for that. But this is My Cool with Talk About It, which is my favorite new song. And I'm going to see you guys later today. Bye.
It seems as though you left me in the dark, even when you said you had me in your heart. You shut me out and left me there to stay, with no guiding light to help me find a way. 'Cause your silence kills me when I'm on my own. When you've cut me out, I've got no way to know. Got me in this feeling, 'cause you're not alone. If you could see why I don't wanna let you go, why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. 'Cause I feel so confused when you leave me so used. Why don't you talk
This is the only morning show. It's not sponsored.
Cause your silence kills me when I'm on my own. When you've cut me out, I've got no way to know. Got me in this feeling, cause you're not alone. If you could see why I don't wanna let you go, why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Cause I feel so confused when you leave me so used. Why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Cause it's easier to see if you're not meant for me. Why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Just talk about it. Why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Just talk about it. Cause your silence kills me when I'm on my own. When you cut me out, I've got no way to know. Got me in this feeling, cause you're not alone. You could see why I don't wanna let you go. Why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Cause I feel so confused when you leave me so used. Why don't you talk about it? Just talk about it. Cause it's easier to see if you're not meant for me. Why don't you talk about it?